Hi everybody. Today I'm going to share you a story called Cinderella. Did you and any of you read this story of before? Yes. No. There once lived a pretty girl named Elsa, who lived with her parents in a lovely house. Sadly, when Elsa was 10 years old, her mother became ill and died. After a long, sad year, Elsa's father told her that he was getting married. Elsa would have a stepmother. Do you think Elsa is happy?
No.
Yes.
Elsa was happy that a fancy lady would soon be living with her and her father. He was even more excited when she learned that the woman had two daughters. It was a beautiful wedding, and Elsa could not wait until her stepmother and stepsister moved to their house. Do you think it's beautiful?
Yes.
Mm, why are there bad looks on her new stepsister's face?
Still want to not speaker?
Next one. But in no time, the stepmother and stepsisters began to show Elsa how selfish and cruel they really were. From morning till night, they made Elsa do the housework, and since she cleaned the cinders out of the stove each night, they began to call her Cinderella. Wow, the stepmother and stepsisters are really bad, oh? Poor Cinderella. Month after month, she had to cook and serve all the meals and wash and mend all the clothes. Her bedroom was in the cold, windy attic. She could not complain to her father because he worked on a sailing ship and away from home most of the year. Oh, so poor. Then, one day, a letter came from the palace. The king was inviting all the young ladies in the land to come to the royal ball. The prince is looking for a bride, and maybe he will choose one of you, and said the stepmother to her own two daughters. Wow, look at the look on the stepdaughter's face. Look at the first stepdaughter. The first stepdaughter is like a very funny face, and the other one is like this. Very funny, oh. Cinderella's cruel stepmother kept her working day and night to make beautiful new ball gowns for her two stepsisters. But on the day of the ball, Cinderella had no gown to wear. As her stepsisters drove off to the palace, she could not stop herself bursting into tears. Aww. Next one. Suddenly there was a flash of light, and a fairy appeared before her. She held a magic wand and said, "Do not be afraid, my dear. I am your fairy godmother. I will help you get to the ball." Then, with a wave of her wand, she changed a pumpkin into a beautiful coach. The fairy noticed a pair of mice in the garden. She waved her wand, and two grey mice changed into fine horses. With another wave of the wand, a cat that had been hunting mice was changed into a driver for Cinderella's coach. Wow, look, the cat become a coach, but still have the whiskers one eh. With another wave of the wand, a cat that has been hunting the mice was changed into a driver for the Cinderella's coach. Finally, the fairy godmother looked at Cinderella and changed her old dress into a beautiful ball gown. Suddenly, a pair of shiny glass slippers appeared on her feet. Finally, the fairy godmother looked at. Just, just remember, said the fairy, you must be home by midnight, for that is when the magic spell will end. The magic coach drove quickly to the palace. When the prince met Cinderella, she was so beautiful that he could not take his eyes off her. They danced together all night. All the other ladies were jealous of them. Cinderella's sisters did not even recognize her. Wow, look, not really the same. Look at this place. Look, it's not the same. Because she got tied her hair, all her clothes are brown and some white. And next one, it's all white and gold. Plus, she didn't even have a dress like this. Cinderella had such a wonderful time that she forgot all about her fairy godmother's warning. But when the clock began to chime, Cinderella jumped in surprise. She looked at the clock tower. It was midnight. She knew she had to leave before the last bell struck 12. Oh no! Cinderella ran out of the ballroom. As she hurried down the stairs, she lost one of her glass slippers. She had no time to pick it up, for she did not want the prince to see her in her old dress. She jumped into her coach and as she left the palace gates, the magic spell was broken. Why? Wow. Hmm. The prince found the glass slipper on the stairs and he told his father, the king, that he was in love with the beautiful lady who wore the, the slipper. So the next day, the king sent out his men to find that the young lady whose foot could fit in the glass slipper. The prince and the royal servants went down into the town. They told all of the young ladies of the town to come forward to try on the glass slipper. But the shoe was so fine and perfect in shape that it did not fit on the foot of any girl in town. And any boy, sir. Of course lah, Isaac. For the rest of the day and over the next 2 weeks, the prince and the men went knocking on every door in his kingdom. They tried the shoe on princesses and fancy young ladies, as well as poor simple farm girls. But the shoe did not fit on anyone's foot. The royal servants came to Cinderella's house. The two stepsisters took turns trying to squeeze their big feet into the tiny glass slipper. They pushed and pulled, slipper did not fit at all. Then, just as the servants were about to leave the room, Cinderella came into the room from the kitchen. "Please, if you don't mind," she said, "I would like to try on the slipper." Her stepmother and stepsisters looked at her and began to laugh. "Don't waste your time with her," said Cinderella's stepmother. The king's captain looked at the girl's lovely face and noticed her tiny feet. He asked Cinderella to sit down, and to everyone's great surprise, the glass slipper fitted onto her foot perfectly. The captain sent a messenger to the palace to tell the prince. He came at once, and he looked deeply at into Cinderella's eyes. He smiled and recognized her. She was his true princess. He led her to his royal carriage and drove back to the palace. In a few short days, the prince and Cinderella were married. Were married. It was the most beautiful wedding the kingdom had ever seen. From that day on, Cinderella was happy all the more so because she did not have to live with her stepmother and